When is the last time you visited an art museum? Going through a lot of artworks is a ton of fun, but it is exhausting as well. After about 20 or 30 minutes, what I want is not another picture that will deplete my energy, but a cup of coffee to wake me up. I believe I'm not alone. When we are in an art gallery, we often assume that we have to give a closer look at every single painting. But do we really have to? If you go into a department store to buy a shirt, are you going to try on every single shirt? No. We select the ones we only get interested in. Then, why are we supposed to appreciate all the paintings on the wall? I'd like to suggest a different approach. Next time you go into a gallery, why don't you go quite fast, instead of stopping at every one of them? There must be some works that somehow exceptionally attract you. Then you ignore all the others, and spend a lot more time to enjoy your favorite pieces.
When I find my favorite piece of work in an art gallery, then I tell myself a story about it. What is happening here? Who are those people? And what is their relationship? What is going to happen to them? This requires a very astute observation. You may wonder if your interpretations of the work is right or not. But unlike standardized tests, there is no clear answer. Looking at the exact same piece of art, how we feel varies from person to person. You only need to look inside and observe how you feel. You may also want to know the true intention of the artist himself or herself. But you don't need to care that either. For example, when you taste a pudding, the chef's intentions don't affect whether you enjoy its flavor or not. All that matters is, again, how you feel. The artist's interpretation of their work is just one, among many other possibilities. Besides, if the artist has his intention, and you don't get it, it is partly his fault. He just failed to communicate his message. Why do we have to feel guilt about it?
Girl with a Pearl Earring by Johannes Vermeer, 17th century Dutch painter. This is one of my favorite paintings. I first saw it when I was 19. I immediately came to like it and went out to get a poster of it. It's been 30 years, and I never tire of looking at her. What made me obsessed with this picture is the conflicted look on her face. I can't tell if she is happy or sad. I have second thoughts every time I come back to her. One day, 16 years after I had this poster in my room, I suddenly thought what the painter did to her to make her look like that. Always before I'd thought of it as a portrait of a girl. Now I began to think of it as a portrait of a relationship. The expression on her face is actually reflecting how she feels about him. Then what is that relationship? They could be a father and a daughter, lovers, or possibly more complicated and intimate relationship. How you interpret is up to your own imagination.
The Night Watch by Rembrandt, perhaps the most famous work of his long career. Many of you have probably seen this before. And many of you, I assume, don't really look attentively at the picture. When we classify an object as something you have already known, we never give it a closer look anymore. For example, we identify an object in a painting as a tree, and we usually do not look further into it. We quit observing it. Classification is a natural function of our brain to reduce the cognitive load. If you gaze at everything in your sight, you will soon be mentally depleted. But, wait. What kind of tree is it? How is it painted? If you like the tree, what makes you like it? You must have missed a couple of things, which could have helped you enjoy the work more. Go back again to the piece by Rembrandt. It is known by the title, The Night Watch, but is it really a night scene? If you stop for a moment, you will know that no one in the picture has a torch. The left hand of the man in the middle is casting a vivid shadow. In fact, the dark tone of the painting is due to discoloration with time. Someone called it the Night Watch, and it prevailed.
The Starry Night, by Vincent van Gogh, permanently exhibited at the Museum of Modern Art, or MoMA, in New York City. Painted in June 1889, it depicts the view from the east-facing window of his hospital room. It is widely regarded as his masterpiece, and considered to be one of the most iconic paintings in Western art. What makes it so captivating? A study from Michigan State University suggests that arts foster scientific success. The research team shows that the most accomplished scientists, including Nobel Prize winners, are 2.8 times more likely than average to have an artistic and crafty hobby. There must be some correlation between intellectual achievements and artistic excellence. What is common to scientists and artists is their curiosity about the cosmos and their perseverance to describe their view of the world with their language. There is certainly an objective reality, but we view it through some human filters. Scientists use mathematical language to explain the reality, while artists express their perception with colors and shapes. Van Gogh was among one of them. Shortly before he finished this work, Van Gogh wrote to his sister that he struggled with the night sky. He wanted to communicate how the light and wind looked to him. The starry night is probably a statement of his worldview, a challenge to describe the world in a way that nobody ever could.